過ぎた季節が嘘だとしても重ねたぬくもりは嘘じゃない君が残した背中の傷跡は今もずっと甘くてだからずっと痛くて
Yo, what do you do, guys? Ilyamuki here, and I'm giving you a new fanfic story. This is The Heroic Player, a My Hero Academia / Sword Art Online fanfic story. Or rather, what if Izuku was in SAO? In this story, I want to try and focus on doing, a little bit of, character development. Given that SAO barely has any of that bullshit, I want to focus more on Izuku's character development, where he goes from being that of a timid and scared kid that feels like he can't stand up to anyone to a person that's willing to do whatever it takes to protect people around him, even if it means he becomes what people hate. And no, he's not going to replace Kirito in this story. Kirito will still be the main protagonist of the story. It's just that we're going to be following Izuku's character development and his development with all the other SAO players and characters as well. So yeah. Also, there's going to be a certain change in this story, but you guys are going to have to see for yourself. You could like it or hate it. I could care less. But it's going to involve a certain character. So with that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Young Izuku Midoriya. At the age of 5, he's realized one truth. A truth that most people don't find out, at least until they're until they're 16 or 17 years old. Or at least earlier than that, being 13. That not all men are created equal. He realizes this at the age of 4, when he tries to go and see when he's going to develop a quirk, just like all of his friends, even his best friend, Katsuki Bakugo, as he wants to become a hero, a pro hero, just like All Might. Sorry, kid, not gonna happen. Or at least not going to happen right now. With hearing this, Izuku was confused and shocked, with then Inko asking the doctor why, with the doctor soon saying that normally it shows that Izuku doesn't have the double jointed pinky toe that you would see in any other quirkless person. However, he hasn't shown any symptoms or any traits of him having a quirk whatsoever. Even at his age, he should, but it does seem like he will have a quirk. All it will do is take time before it manifests. There are ways to awaken a quirk, but the methods are, shoddy at best, mostly due to the danger that they could pose to a person, such as forced activation. It only happens if a person's life is in danger and the quirk activates to defend them. But sometimes it also could happen in a time of stress and even a time of emotional turmoil. Many quirks basically change a person's personality or their emotional status at that. But quirks like that are still quite rare as well. But even so, just have faith in yourself, kid. You may have a quirk or may not have a quirk. Just give it time. With Izuku hearing this, feeling somewhat anxious, as there's still hope for him, but is it a slim chance of a hope? Little did he know, as the years go by, Izuku's life begins turning into a living hell. At the age of 6, all of his classmates and his friends began to turn against him, mostly due to him not awakening his quirk yet. Because of this, he began getting bullied and persecuted and treated like that of subhuman, especially by his old childhood friend, Katsuki Bakugo. As Izuku was trying to defend a kid that was attacked by them and their lackeys, with Izuku was trying his best to defend the kid with all his might, with asking, "Stop, Kachan, you're hurting them." As Izuku stands in front of a boy crying on the ground, and in front of him being that of three figures, one being a boy with that of a plain looking face, but his fingers can extend quite long, a chubby boy with that of buzz cut hair, but with big red wings, and standing in front is a girl with ashen blonde hair and crimson red eyes, with that of a deadly smirk on her face, with her saying, "So, it looks like you need to learn your place, Deku. A quirkless loser like you needs to know that you have no right to stand up against me." After saying this, the three toddlers began to rush at Izuku and began mercilessly beating the kid with their quirks. After that, Izuku's life was turned into a living nightmare over and over and over again. However, there was one shining hope in his life, something that gave him hope that wasn't just All Might, the number one hero and pro heroes themselves, but it was also video games. When Izuku was around 8 years old, he began to enjoy and playing video games all the time, constantly. When he always played them on his mom's computer, and every day he always comes back playing tons of first-person shooter games, action games, and also fighting games. But what he's mostly known to play the most is MMOs. Always in MMOs, quirks don't matter. A person's status in real life doesn't matter. In MMOs, he could be the hero he's always wanted to be. Somebody just like All Might, where he always helps out players as much as he can, where he gives tips to newbies who are struggling with the games, and where he's always there to help out those in raid bosses, always there to support them, and always glad to aid them whenever they need it, no matter what. With that, Izuku has become that you could say he's not really addicted, but he's somewhat of a prodigy when it comes to MMOs. However, around his 12th birthday, things began to change, as the VR Nervegear was soon released by a man of Akihiko Kayaba, a genius when it comes to digital design, coding, programming, next-gen technology, such as the new gaming device that will allow them to fully immerse themselves in the game itself, known as the VR Nervegear, and the first game for this new gaming device, that being Sword Art Online, a VR MMO RPG that doesn't focus on anything about quirks or magic or anything else. It focuses on sword techniques and abilities using other types of weapons, and a player's pure skill and knowledge alone is what's needed in this game. With this, Izuku was absolutely psyched even for it. However, he began to feel down though, because he knows that he's not going to be able to play it until it releases, due to his mom. His mom, he's not really poor or anything like that, but right now his mom is not really doing so well. Even with the support of his father overseas supplying them with money, it's just not in the cards, to be honest, which is really sad, to be honest. But however, little did he know, it looks like luck was shining on him, or rather, was it the devil that was looking down on him instead? Because he was given a copy and a Nervegear helmet for Sword Art Online, as Izuku was hyped and surprised as he never thought that he was going to be able to get a copy of Sword Art Online, or even a Nervegear at that. However, a letter came in for Izuku with the Nervegear from Akihiko Kayaba himself, as he's aware on how skilled of a player that Izuku is in many MMO games, as many people have spoken of his name, the username he goes by in many of his MMOs, that being the name Deku, even though the name has been considered nothing but the name of an insult by the one person that he's thought of as his closest best friend. Little did he know, he couldn't think of anything else better to use, because he feels like he needs to change what that name stands for, at least in another world, even if it's in fictional. Kayaba has great respect for Izuku's skills as a player, and due to that, he wished to give Izuku the beta test copy for Sword Art Online. With that, he would also prefer it if he gives him quite enough feedback to improve on the game once it releases in the next 5 months or so. With that, Izuku is hyped and thanks Kayaba for everything he's done. As soon as he comes back home from school, he jumps right into Sword Art Online, where he creates his character and creates his avatar. He actually creates his avatar to be somewhat similar to that of, well, All Might actually. So he can be quite big and muscular and all that. However, he doesn't choose the same hairstyle as All Might. Just his same green locks, but he does remove the freckles and makes him look a little bit older than he normally does. With it, Izuku is ready to play. For the first couple of hours of playing SAO, it's not easy. I mean, far from it. Given that Izuku has barely knew how to fight whatsoever, it's kind of annoying on how frustrating it is at first. But as he takes his time and takes a little bit easier to get a feel of the game, he begins to realize that he's pretty good with that of a dagger and knives. Sure, they don't deal enough damage, unlike that of a one-handed longsword or a spear, or even that of a rapier or mace. He still has a better feeling for it when he uses a dagger. And throughout the first floor, it's a lot more easier to get the handle of, with many enemies respawning and learning from the attacks. Hell, he even reaches the dungeon and looks around and see that there are plenty other players around as well, as there were 100 copies released for the beta test. With seeing many people running around, jumping, killing monsters, Izuku couldn't help but feel excited and feel happy. However, when he goes to see one of the players actually, struggling a little bit, he actually helps her out, as it being a girl with that of black hair, with black long hair that stops around her neck, and she having that of green eyes just like Izuku, as he asked, "Are you okay? Do you need some help?" With her saying, "I'm fine. Thank you, sir." With Izuku saying, "Sir? Oh, right. I guess my avatar would be a little bit misleading after all." With her saying, "Oh, really? And tell me, what is your..." That's a little bit... I don't think I trust you long enough to actually tell you how old I am, but my username is Deku, by the way. Saying, "Oh, Deku. Well, my name is Koharu. It's nice to meet you." With Izuku saying, "Likewise. I see that you're not really getting the hang of this." With Koharu saying, "Yeah, not really. I'm not so used to VR or anything like that." With Izuku saying, "Same here. it's not easy to get the hang of being in a real life video game or anything like that. But if you focus and analyze your opponent, they're not that hard to beat. With then one of the monsters heading straight for Izuku, as he's saying, "See for yourself." With him getting in a fighting stance, preparing his dagger, as he dodges, but then stabs it square right through the side of its body, before finishing off on the top by stabbing it square in its head. With then she's saying, "Wow, you did that so effortlessly." With Izuku couldn't help but get embarrassed, saying, "It was, you could say it's pure luck, but throughout my time, I've been trying my best to figure things out. Many of the monsters have certain weaknesses that you can exploit. Well, mostly by weak points around their body. Not only that, you can also take advantage of them by switching out weapons. Like, for example, as he goes to his menu, switches out his dagger, and soon switch it for a spear. With then the same monster that came after Izuku before begins rushing at him. With then Izuku preparing to strike, and just with one solitary thrust, he kills it instantly, with it turning into that diamond-like particles. With her saying, "Wow, so easily." It's saying each monster, besides the weak points, they also have a weakness to certain types of weapons as well. If you can take advantage of the weapon weaknesses, it's a lot more easier. With her saying, "You're really taking advantage of this. How long have you been playing?" With Izuku saying, I think I lost count." So you lost track of how long you've been playing? "I think so." With her saying, "Oh boy, that's quite irresponsible. You almost seem like you're like a little kid." With Izuku scratching the back of his head, with then the girl soon saying, "Don't tell me you really are." With Izuku not even, acknowledging the fact that he is. With her soon sighing, saying, well, even though you're young, even though you seem like a kid, you do know what you're doing. So, you don't mind if you help me out a little bit for a little while you can?" With Izuku saying, "I'll be glad to help out as much as I can." With that, Izuku and Koharu began traveling through the dungeon and began taking out multiple monsters, with Izuku giving her pointers about each monster's weaknesses and their pattern on when they attack and strike. Once a little bit of trial and error, she figures out the monster's patterns and was able to strike each and every one of them pretty easily. Not only that, the reason that she was struggling quite a bit is because she uses a mace, which does deal a lot of damage, but it slows a person's movements quite a bit if they don't have a good strength stats, which makes your swings powerful, but slow at the same time. With that, Izuku couldn't help but help her out by switching out her mace with a dagger, just like his. Within the two clearing out the dungeon quite a bit as they head to the floor boss gates, with Izuku thinking, "So, this must lead to the boss. I think I'd rather not take it on, at least for today." With Koharu saying, "I feel the same way. So, I think I'm going to log out. I'll catch you later, Koharu." With her saying, "Yeah, me too. See you around, Deku." With Izuku soon waving his hand towards Koharu. However, as Izuku was about to leave, he soon sees another person, as it looked like that of a young man with that of a serious look on his face, as he wields that of a single one-handed sword and light black hair as the left side, as the hair is covering the left side of his face. With then Izuku saying, "Oh, sorry," with saying, "No problems." And I was just about to take on the floor boss. You guys with Koharu saying, "No, I think I'm just gonna stay here on the floor to get a feel of everything." And he was just about to leave as Izuku nods his head, saying, "Huh, I see." With then noticing Izuku's name, saying, "Deku. Huh, I feel like I've seen that name before. Have we met by any chance?" Saying, not that I know of." "Kirito? Huh, your name sounds familiar too." With saying, "I guess I get that name. They get that a lot. Anyway, I'll catch you later." Yeah, and hope you continue enjoying the beta for the next couple of months. With Izuku smiling, saying, "Yeah, you too." Within Izuku finally logging out. As he soon logs out of Sword Art Online, he soon wakes up in his room, seeing all of his All Might memorabilia as always. Removing the nerve gear from his head, he soon sees that it's now at least 8:30 at night, with Izuku now freaking out, saying, "What? It's that late? I didn't think that would be that late." Because he got home around 6:20. Little did he know that time goes way too fast while he's in the VR world. With then thinking, "Damn, did not expect that. I think I should be prepared on how long time could take. Good thing I finished up my homework before I played SAO. But honestly, I think I'm really going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy playing this game. I can actually feel like a hero. I could feel like a true hero among heroes." As Izuku couldn't help but feel hyped for what's to come in the next couple of days, the next months. However, little did he know, his life would change for either the best or the worst. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And also, what did you guys think of this prologue chapter? The main chapter will probably start the next couple of days. After that, I probably won't be touching the story as much, unlike the Radiant Hero story and the new story I'm working on now, actually. Because, again, it's still SAO. I just want to prove I can do a better job than Reki Kawahara. And yes, I'm that petty, and I don't give a shit. So yeah, please like and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and which really helps out the channel. Also, please check out my main channel, my Discord, my gaming channel, and my Patreon. All the links will be in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out, and later guys, and take care.